Frank Sinatra once made a song called Strangers in the Night. But in the case of this particular movie here, it was more like Strangers in the Hi guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're all keeping well. Now for this video, I'd like to review a horror movie that I watched just last night on Blu-ray. Now the movie is from 2024 and it was directed by Renee Harlan and it stars Froy Gutierrez, I hope I pronounced that correctly, and Madeline Petch. And that movie is called The Strangers Chapter 1. Okay guys, before I say anything further about this well, if you could call it a movie, and give you my thoughts on the storyline as a whole, I'll just read you the back of this synopsis just to give you an idea if you're not familiar with it. You probably are. Right, after their car breaks down in an eerie small town, a young couple, Madeline Petch and Froy Gutierrez, are forced to spend the night in a remote cabin. Panic ensues as they are terrorized by three masked strangers who strike with no mercy and seemingly no motive in The Strangers Chapter 1, the chilling first entry of this horror feature film series from master director Renee Harlan. There you go guys, that's the synopsis. Short and sweet, or should that be short and sour? Of this new take on The Strangers, it's a kind of a reboot, and apparently this is going to be the first of a trilogy. We've been down that road before, haven't we? Remember Halloween? Remember The Exorcist? Okay then, guys, enough waffle from me on that score. I'm just going to tell you a bit about the movie now and give me thoughts on the storyline as a whole. Yeah, the main problem with this movie, guys, for me, it was nowhere near as good as the original Strangers. It lacked that atmosphere of disquiet, that feeling of claustrophobia. The characters weren't scary, the strangers in this weren't scary, and it just descended into the abyss of these sorts of like generic home invasion movies, what we've seen time and time again. Yeah, I did not like it at all, guys. I won't be keeping this in my collection. I'm gonna either flog it on eBay or give it to CX. But yeah, it started off okay. I thought it was going to be good, but it soon went downhill, guys, for me. Not a patch on the original one, which is it's a fantastic home invasion movie. I didn't like the characters. I didn't like the the couple. I didn't like the way the strangers were. This new take on the strangers. I thought it fell flat on its face, to be honest. There's a couple of scenes there, guys. Well, one scene from the movie, and so many stupid mistakes as well, guys. That almost laughable mistakes, but it didn't frighten me at all, guys. It was a very, very poor imitation of the original Strangers, and even Pray at Night was better than this, the sequel, although I didn't like that quite as much as I liked the first Strangers. Even that was better than this. Yeah. Too many drawn out scenes and that, and ridiculous decisions and that, say the couple, they go to the remote cabin and that, spending there for the night and that, and of course, like, they get the, the customer who knock on the door, but even that part, it wasn't as disquieting as the in the first movie, and the problem with that scene as well, the cabin was too lighty, whereas when they opened the door to look onto the porch, it was too dark, so you couldn't see the girls. You didn't know if she had a mask on or anything, and that, just one of the many flaws in this movie, guys. And it's, I'd say, stupid decisions in that, like where she goes to take a shower and she knows there's just something not quite right going on here in this secluded cabin in the woods and that, with a knock on the door and that. What does she do when her boyfriend goes into town? She takes a shower. Oh, just as if, and another part as well, when the boyfriend comes back home, she says, like, he said, what's the matter? She's all like nervy and anxious and that. She said there was a figure standing there. He said, what do you mean, a figure? He said, it was standing there. I seen the figure standing there. It was the girl, one of the girls with the masks on. So he looks and he said, ah. And then what he does, he looks at, there's a picture on the wall. I don't know if it's a clown or not. And he said, this is what you've seen. This is what you mistook the face for. just as if you could mistake a bloody little picture on the wall for a bloody, a human in your house and that, real physical appearance in your house. Oh, I don't know. What a bloody plonker. Another thing I don't like about this, guys, it seems to suggest like when the couple first go into town and that, there's only a small town like before they go to the cabin. The people in the towns, they give them like weird looks, like there's something off in the town. So I'm just wondering to myself, I hope they don't go down that road where it turns out that the three strangers are actually citizens of this small town, this community. In my view, that would take away the mystique of these three killers and that. I think this is where some horror movies slip up, guys. They start off with a mysterious killer, and then they start revealing the background. That they did it with Michael Myers. It doesn't work, guys. Horror characters are best left. It's the best left that mystery attached to them, in my opinion. Don't know what you guys think. They should be left mysterious, and these three definitely should be left mysterious. But I think from the looks of things, it doesn't bode well. From the way they're going to take this story, in the second one, maybe you might give away. It's actually these three people actually three of the townsfolk, and I don't want that, guys. I'm going to be in two minds when I'm going to be checking out the second one, even the third one when it comes out. I believe the two of them get released next year. I don't know that for sure, but yeah, guys, it wasn't a patch on the original Strangers. It wasn't. It was very bland, and actually, to be honest, guys, near the end, I found myself struggling to stay awake. That's how bored I was with this, it was an awful movie, in my opinion. Yeah, so many stupid decisions. I mean, when he went into town, why didn't she go with him and that? Why did she stay in the cabin on her own and that? And why did he leave her on her own and that? These sinister characters lurking around outside and that. It was just unrealistic, guys. It just didn't tick all the boxes. It didn't tick any boxes with me, actually, guys. I didn't like it at all. Yeah, so no, not as good as the original, the first two. There was another mad scene as well, guys, where the couple sit down to dinner. They're having like this chicken, like this I think it's a takeaway, and the boy, like, he's sort of like he's a bit of a sloppy eater, and he's got all red tomato sauce smeared all over his gob, and she's laughing at him, the girl, and that, saying what a pig he is, what a pig of an eater he is, and that, so he's eating it and that, and then they sort of like, it dawns on them slowly that the sauce is a little bit too red for comfort. And what it is, they look slowly up, and it's a dead chicken hanging from the ceiling, and the blood's dripping down from the chicken onto the guy's dinner. I mean, the ceiling's not all that high. Why didn't he bloody notice that when he first come into the bloody dining room and that? Surely they would have noticed the bloody the chicken dripping blood and that. And why did it start dripping blood at that precise moment when he started tucking into his grub? Yeah, very, very questionable scene there, yeah. But yeah, guys, this was peppered with ridiculous, annoying scenes, guys. I didn't like it at all. This had all the appeal of a stale dinner, which has been warmed up and warmed up and warmed up. But I'm afraid to say, guys, this movie did not warm my heart. On the contrary, it made it beat with anger and annoyance at just how much of a bloody shambles this movie was. I'm going to be blunt, it shouldn't have been made. They should have left it. Some horror franchises, guys, I've said this before, they should be left alone. Don't bloody touch them and ruin them. For goodness sake, they've done the same with The Exorcist. They've done the same with Halloween. That they're just taking these classic movies and making a mess of them and that, I could use a stronger word that they bleep all over them, but I'll refrain from that because I don't swear on this channel. But you get me drift, guys, They should, as I've said it before, they're getting writers sending scripts in, to Hollywood all the time. Why don't they have a good look in a slush pile and they're bound to find a little gem there if they keep looking, Why go back again and again and again, do the same old blooming thing? This was identical, guys, to the first Strangers movie. There's only a little few tweaks, but on the whole, I just felt as though I was watching a very, very poor reproduction of the first Strangers movie, which was brilliant and that, So even if they did the moved the story on from Strangers Prey at Night and sort of like built a different story, on that foundation of the second Strangers, built a different story. Maybe you get a couple of heroes going after them and that, trying to hunt them down. You could have done something like that, done a sequel. Why go back and tamper with it, the original story? It usually doesn't end good, guys, when you tamper with good stuff, I am of the opinion that change is not usually it's always for the worse, and that's right across the board. That it's not just the movies, but changing everything, what you're used to, what you've loved for years and years and years, and you get some like busybody or that coming along and saying, oh, I know, we'll do this with the story and that, you know. But sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I'm afraid to say, guys, this was very, very shallow movie, you know. It wasn't frightening, it wasn't scary, it didn't have me jaw dropping open and all like the first movie did. Yeah, I definitely will not be revisiting this again. Yeah, and as I say, I didn't like the two main protagonists and that, you know, I didn't, just ridiculous decisions what they made and that, you know, they had ample opportunities to get out that camp, just run into the woods, you know, as fast as the legs would carry them until he get to the nearest town, however far away it might be, rather than going to the bloody house knowing there's 3 masked killers outside. What did he do? They go back into the bloody house, you know, and pushing their luck, guys. I've seen it so many times in horror movies. They just get fed up in the end, yeah. All right then, guys, enough neither knuckle criticism from me. On to a rating now for The Strangers Chapter 1. I'm just going to give it a 1, guys. That's all it's getting off me, a 1 out of 10. Because that's how much I had a really bad, disappointing time watching this movie. Yeah, 1 out of 10, that's all it's worth. And I will be on 2 minds whether to bother going and seeing the part 2 and part 3. Because, you know, if they're going to repeat, just going to rehash the same old thing all the time. And, you know, I don't want to spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen it, you might like to turn your volume down. Okay, the ending is not much different to the first one, but the first one was done so much better. It was a very, very eerie movie. By contrast, this is a very, very drab movie. Okay then, guys, I've said my piece on The Strangers. I know some YouTubers like this and some YouTubers hate it, but if you've seen it and you haven't commented or done a video, what do you think of The Strangers Chapter 1? Do you agree with me that they should leave these classic horror movies alone and do something completely different? Look at Late Night with the Devil. Now, that was fantastic, that. It was something different. It was a good story. Why can't they do more Late Night with the Devils? Like, you know, be original now, rather than go back to the same old tired format, home invasion movies, blah, blah, bloom and blah. Yeah. All right then, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thought it was worth. Yeah. You should like the video. Please hit the share, subscribe, comment. And all going well. I shall be back again very, very soon. Now, if you'll just excuse me while I go and look at look for that Frank Sinatra record, Strangers in the Night, to try and cheer me up after watching this pile of